Fund predicts 5.4% contraction for Nigeria's economy in 2020. France's iconic tower opens after longest period of closure since World War II. Australia, New Zealand win joint 2023 Women's World Cup hosting rights. Everyone's journey is different. Focus on your own. And now to the news in full. The National Executive Committee of the governing All Progressives Congress has approved the dissolution of the party's National Working Committee. This followed a recommendation by President Muhammadu Buhari to the Emergency Committee of the party. The virtual emergency NEC meeting of the APC, anchored from the council chamber of the presidential villa, was conveyed to find a lasting solution to the internal crisis undermining the unity, stability and cohesion within the governing party. President Muhammadu Buhari was joined at the council chamber by Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, presiding officers of the National Assembly, governors and a few members of the committee, while others participated online from across Nigeria. Apart from the dissolution of the National Working Committee of the party, as well as the appointment of a caretaker and extraordinary convention planning committee chaired by Governor Mai Malabuni of Yobe State, the NEC meeting also rectified the recently conducted Edo APC governorship primary election won by Eze Nyamu.
Deep sense of concern that I stand before you today.
President Muhammadu Buhari earlier told members that the administration of the party was becoming impossible. Its fortune was in jeopardy, and therefore the urgent need for intervention to assist to arrest further disagreements that may lead to total disintegration. It therefore made a case for the withdrawal of all litigations against one another and indeed the party in various law courts.
It's not just regrettable, but utterly gut-wrenching. The potential fallout from this conduct will not only cause us to lose the gains that we have labored for with our sweat over the years, but makes a mockery of our ability to maintain party cohesion and close our ranks. We must return to our winning ways.
The president said pragmatic and guided approach must also be undertaken towards consolidating on the successes recorded and ensure that the party does not lose its pride of place as the gold standing and pace setter in Nigeria.
This is the time to get our acts together and ensure that we are united and not working at cross purposes. We must instill and enforce party discipline. Failure in taking these measures places our party in a difficult position that negates years of struggle and sacrifices. Arising from this virtual meeting, remember our pledge to serve the people of Nigeria.
In the meantime, the new chairman and caretaker and Extraordinary Planning Convention Committee and Governor of Yobe State, Mai Malabuni, has been sworn in.
Former two-term national secretary of the party, I know the party very well, and it's all about doing justice to every member of the party, because without justice there won't be peace, and it is all about team playing. I'm a team player. I have a capable team that can work with me, and if you don't manage crisis, obviously crisis will manage you. So I won't allow any crisis to fester henceforth.
We are happy that today the issues bedeviling our party has been laid to rest by these momentous decisions, and we are equally congratulating Mr. President on the exercise of the mandate that has been given to him by Nigerians, and today the party issues which should not distract him has been sorted.
The 13-member Caretaker and Convention Planning Committee, which has a period of 6 months to deliver its mandate, includes the Governor of Niger Osun State. The police have lifted the blockade on the National Secretariat of the All Progressives Congress. This happened moments after the National Executive Committee meeting of the party, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, dissolved the party's National Working Committee. The newly appointed chairman of the party's Caretaker Committee and Convention Planning Committee had a brief stopover at the Secretariat and exchanged pleasantry with members of staff, most of whom were his colleagues when he served as the party's National Secretary before elected as Governor of Yobe State. The immediate past Governor of Oyo State, Senator Abiola Ajimobi, has died at the age of 70 after battling coronavirus-related symptoms for a month. Ajimobi, who was governor from 2011 to 2019, was named the acting national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress last week. The former governor was hospitalized in Lagos on the 2nd of June 2020. Meanwhile, Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun on Thursday described as the end of an era the death of the former governor of Oyo State, Senator Abiola Ajimobi. Governor Abiodun said the former governor died when his services were most needed and at a time his sagacity would have made a critical difference in statecraft and political engineering, while saying the loss was not only a loss to his immediate family and Oyo State that he governed for 2 unprecedented terms. Governor Abiodun said it marked the end of an era for Nigeria because of the circumstances of the present time. He described Ajimobi as a phenomenal public servant and business entrepreneur who broke the second-term jinx in the governance of his state and had served at the Senate as a principal officer and deputy minority whip credibly before attending that height. Prince Abiodun recalled that at the twilight of Senator Ajimobi's sojourn on earth, he had been touted as a possible acting chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC because many believe in his ability to restore the party to its path of honor. Governor Abiodun prayed for the repose of his soul and that Allah grant his family, associate and government of Oyo State the fortitude to bear the loss. A charge has gone to organizations and corporate bodies in Ogun State to look inward by diversifying to other areas that can better position the country to tackle pandemics such as coronavirus now and in the nearest future. The Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Engineer Noimo Oyedele, who gave the charge while receiving another set of 300,000 nose masks donated by League Group of companies to the state government, said this is the right period to think and act fast.
One of the things that COVID-19 has done for us in Nigeria has allowed us to look inward. At the peak of the virus in Europe, the US, and in China, which are usually our main sources of procurement of goods, those countries were under a lot of pressure to meet their own internal demand. And as such, we had to start to look forwards to how to solve our problems in terms of manpower and also in terms of pieces of equipment. This can be borne out from your own experience in importing these materials, that the logistics were very difficult.
Salako Oyedele, while appreciating Lee Group on behalf of the state government for their continued support, advised them to ensure the appropriate sensitization of its employees on the pandemic, noting that this would not only serve them as individuals but their immediate family and the larger society on how best to stay safe during this period. Earlier in their remarks, the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tomi Koka, and her counterparts in industry, trade and investment, Mrs. Kikelo Molunge, appreciated the company's continued support, especially at this trying period, saying that the donation was a clear demonstration of the love and value the company has for the state health workers. They added that Lee Group of Company had been supportive by employing quite a number of citizens of the state and have continued to show a sense of corporate social responsibility. The General Manager, Lee Group of Company, Mr. Philip Seng, commended efforts of the state government on the management of COVID-19 pandemic since the index case, saying the state government has really shown determination and love for the citizens by committing so much resources at fighting the virus. In a related development, Wasi Group, led by its chairman, Otumba Wasiu Taiwo, has also shown its support to Ogun State government by donating 10,000 nose masks, while noting that curbing the spread of the virus in the state requires collective effort, as government alone cannot fight the pandemic. The Ogun State government, in conjunction with the Drug Control Committee, says it will not relent in its commitment to the fight against drug abuse, as the prevalent cases in the state are becoming alarming. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tommy Coker, stated this while addressing journalists on the occasion of the United Nations Anti-Drug Awareness Day, which comes up on the 26th day of June every year. Peter Falomo reports.
Million people are estimated to be suffering from drug-related disorders, according to the United Nations Drug and Crime Survey. In southwest Nigeria, records have it that more than 22% are suffering from drug abuse, while 17% forms the figure of affected individuals in Ogun State. It is on this premise that the Ogun State government decided to increase its awareness campaign towards checkmating the menace of the scourge and illicit trafficking.
In line with the philosophy of building the future of Ogun State together under the leadership of His Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun, the way forward is to establish a state-owned rehabilitation center for the management of identified drug addiction cases and the enactment of legislation against the sale of drugs and substances of abuse around our school premises, parks, and garages.
Reeling out some of the drugs commonly abused, Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tommy Coker, also speaks on socio-economic effects of illicit drugs on the society.
The commonly used drugs include alcohol, nicotine, cola nut, marijuana, codeine, cocaine, heroin, tramadol, morphine, and other unconventional substances as glue, nail varnish, and even the fumes from a pit latrine, just to mention a few. The socio-economic effect of the drug abuse on our society includes reduction in productivity and effectiveness in the workplace, an increased rate of school dropout and loss of earning potentials long-term, increased crime, antisocial behavior, and unwanted pregnancy, high risk of road traffic accidents, loss of life, and disruption to the family life.
She called on well-meaning individuals, groups, traditional institutions, security and regulatory agencies to support the cause of eliminating the problems in the society. Peter Falomo, Ogtv News.
Towards ensuring the passage of more people-oriented legislation based on the overall input from all stakeholders, Ogun State House of Assembly has led a fair in some quarters on the proposed traditional rules, installation and burial rights law 2020, assuring that all concerned stakeholders would be invited to contribute to the process leading to the passage of the bill after the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaker, Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo made the clarification during the plenary at the Assembly Complex, Okemoson, Abeokuta, assured that contrary to insinuations in some quarters, the Assembly would not sideline any stakeholder in its legislative process leading to the passage of the bill.
So the public hearing when the time comes.
Under developments, the minority leader of the Assembly and a member representing Ifo-2 state constituency, Honorable Ganiu Oyedeji, has applauded Prince Dapo Abiodun-led administration's immediate intervention at dredging the Adiyan River in his constituency to prevent indecent flooding in the area. Honorable Oyedeji, noted that the dredging of the river through the state's Ministry of Environment would allow for free flow of water through the riverbank with a view to averting flooding, especially during the rainy season. Respondent Speaker Uluomo remarked that the present administration remained committed to being sensitive to the yearnings and aspiration of the people in its resolve towards entrenching good governance, assuring that other parties of the state with similar challenges would be attended to in due course. The Ogun State House of Assembly has called on the State Command of the Nigerian Police Force to investigate the crisis within the transport union in Ijebu-Ogbo, which led to the vandalization of properties with a view to arrest and prosecute perpetrators. The Speaker, Right Honorable Olakunle Uluomo, stated this while responding to the submission of Honorable Oludare Kadiri, representing Ijebu North 2, and Honorable Sylvester Abiodun, representing Ijebu North 1, on their personal explanation on the crisis and leadership tussle within the transport unions in the area. Correspondent Kolawole Osho covered the plenary, and his report is presented in this package.
In his personal explanation during the plenary, member representing Ijebu North 1 state constituency, Honorable Sylvester Abiodun, informed the House that his constituency was turning into a battleground due to the unpleasant activities of members of the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, RTEAN. The lawmaker alleged that the state chairman of the union was trying to impose his candidate on the Ijebu-Igbo branch of the union, which according to him was responsible for the crisis.
That my constituency, which has been very, very peaceful, time immemorial, is gradually turning to a battleground via the road transport unions.
The submissions of Honorable Sylvester was corroborated by his counterpart and Deputy Speaker Honorable Oludare Kadiri, representing Ijebu North 2, who also condemned the activities of the union. Speaker Right Honorable Olakunle Uluomo, in his response, urges the Ogun State Command of the Nigerian Police to embark on thorough investigation into the causes of the crisis.
It was bad that Ogun State is once again in the news for a bad reason. Like I saw what you were saying in the newspaper this morning. But now, I read that the police has already intervened and some arrests have been made. What we will do is to charge the police to do thorough investigation. And the committee on transport again should invite the chairman of the Road Transport Employers Association and let us look at it critically, what's happened, and see how we can resolve it.
Also during the plenary, 5 bills scaled to the first reading. The bills included the Ogun State Legislative Officers Administration of Pensions Law 2020 and Ogun State Public Procurement Amendment Law 2020. Others are Ogun State Statistics Amendment Law 2020 and Ogun State Waste Management Authority Law 2020.
You're still watching Ogtv News. More news and reports after the break. Do join us again. Glad to have you rejoin us. Artisans are a central tool in impacting positively to the economy of the nation as they aid poverty reduction and the need to empower the youth with technical and vocational skills. Wife of Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, stated this while addressing the Artisans Association of Nigeria Ogun State chapter in Abeokuta. Correspondent Adebola Oshomoji reports.
As a way of soliciting government support towards youth empowerment program, the Artisans Association of Nigeria Ogun State chapter, led by its chairman, Anthony Ayodele, paid a courtesy visit to the wife of Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, as it made its intention known.
Ogun State Artisan intended to launch Artisan Portal. This is to provide needed professionals database on artisan that can handle and execute varieties of professional, vocational services needed within different life endeavor within our state and even beyond.
In her response, Mrs. Abiodun emphasizes on the need for artisans to be upgraded in adding more value to the state economy.
This association is very important, very, very important to the local economy here in Ogun State, because artisans are a critical sector made up of different professions. As the economy picks up, let us remember that we are all responsible for one another. Part of why I wanted to meet with you today is also to hear from you and hear the challenges you are having with your work and how I may be able to help from my office, or at least relay your message to the governor.
She assures that the state government will take necessary steps in considering the plight of the association.
We need to invest in our own people so that the things that will make you compete on the international level, we should make available to you. If you continue to put you down, things will just continue to be like this. And it shouldn't be like that because we have a lot of gifted people.
Artisans Association is a body of various vocational trade unions with large number of professionals spread across the country. Adebola Oshomuji, Ogtv News.
The people of Molipa, Ashafaoke area of Ijebu-Ode have started enjoying the 2.8-kilometer road constructed by the Ogun State government in their communities as the laying of the last asphalt is almost completed. Residents of the communities were of full appreciation to the current administration in the state for solving the perennial problem of erosion with the road project. Matthew Shoomi completes the report.
A new lease of life for the residents of Molipa, Ashafaoke and Fusigboye in Ijebu-Ode as the 2.8-kilometer road has opened a new page of improved socio-economic activities for the people in the area. The laying of the wearing course means the people can now enjoy the road, which will provide easy access to the city center and other communities in Ijebu-Ode with its attendant positive impacts on the lives of the people. The engineer on site says the road will go a long way in addressing the challenges being encountered by the residents during the rainy season.
Like I said before that we are going to commence the final laying, which is the wearing course. And we have started from Ashafaoke. We are taking it to Ojofa.
The people speak on the many benefits of the road to the communities.
Never even thought that there is a government that can come up with another 15 to 20 years with this kind of project. Just on this street, you can never see anybody to come up with ideas, say, I want to come and rent a shop or I need a shop here. But now, since we have started this project now, many people have been coming. Even we can give you money to go and finish it. Don't worry.
The laying of stone base has commenced on the last 2 kilometers of the 4.7-kilometer Oru-Awa Ilakpori Road project.
It used to be the old Ibadan Road, but was abandoned in 1972 when a new one was commissioned. The lost glory of Oru-Awa Ilakpori Road will be returned by the time this road is completed.
Upon completion of the road, motorists will be provided with alternative routes to Ibadan, Lagos, and other neighboring states. The engineer on site speaks on the extent of work done.
Right now we are concentrating on the stone-based works. Because of the rain, we have to load down progress of the activity on site because of the rain. So now earthwork is in progress and stone-based is in progress. So we want to start the rains before we continue our asphalt work.
The people of Awa were full of appreciation to the state government.
This used to be the road that people are taking from Ibadan to Ijebu area. So when the action group came in, the other one, the new express now, was commissioned in 1972 for use. Since then, we didn't have the opportunity of any filling of a federal or state presence until now.
The said road will be of huge benefits not only to the surrounding communities but the whole of the states. Matthew Shoomi, Ogtv News.
The agricultural production system in Nigeria is predominantly rain-fed, which implies that excessive rainfall patterns and variability become a critical production risk. Our reporter Moyoluwa Ajayi in this package explains the vulnerability of excessive rainfall on agricultural production. Our report is presented from our studios.
Rain is usually seen as a benefit to crops and fields. It also determines how fast a crop will grow from seed, including when it will be ready for harvesting. But there is an ideal amount of rainfall in any given growing season for most crops. Taking a look at essence rainfall on crops, having realized the impact of excessive rainfall can engender appropriate policies and practices towards sustainable agricultural production system. Farmers say there will be significant problems from drowned crops for lower yields and crop diseases if the average rainfall is much lower or higher than the ideal.
Naturally, if there is excess of rain, it has adverse effect on the crop, because basically the consequence of that is that there will be waterlogging, and when there is waterlogging, then the aeration system will be affected. So, and consequently, the plant will not be able to transport the required nutrient needed from the soil because the water will have blocked.
What we have been able to advise farmers is that they should, when there is excessive rain, there are some plants that have been generated now that are flood resistant. Like those that are into rice farming, there are some rice that have been developed that no matter the flood, it will still grow. And also there are some other plants that when there are no excess rain, they can also grow likewise. So what we have been telling farmers is that they should be very dynamic in whatever approach that they face themselves.
What then are the measures to be put in place to avoid flooding in the farm?
To control water logging, the major thing to be done is to remove the excess water that is on the soil, and we can do this by having drainage systems.
Farmers are advised to flow along with whatever the weather is bringing in, which is that they must be able to have what we call the weather forecast updated regularly.
Crops depend on water during their entire life cycle in order to survive and to thrive. This makes a good balance of rain imperative for them in whatever climate.
Abeokuta Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mine and Agriculture, ABELSIMA, at its 44th annual general meeting inaugurated Sir Jare Oyeshola as the new president of the chamber with other executive members. The new president and his ESCO members will steer the ship of the chamber for the next 2 years. Kunle Bikunle reports that the immediate past national president of NASIMA and patron and chairman ABELSIMA Board of Trustees Iyalode Alaba Lawson attended the inauguration ceremony. Details are in this package.
The 2018-2020 Abeokuta Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, ABELSIMA, was dissolved by the immediate past president of NASIMA, matron and chairman ABELSIMA Board of Trustees, Iyalode Alaba Lawson, to pave way for the inauguration of new ESCO as Sir Jare Oyeshola emerges new president and was decorated by the immediate past president of ABELSIMA, Mr. Akinola Lawson.
Incoming president, and I'm sure that the chamber will rest greater heights in his tenure, and I'm also sure that you will see the full cooperation of all of us by Jehovah's grace in Jesus' name.
Delivering his acceptance speech, the new president, Sir Jare Oyeshola, promises to continue with the programs of the past executive, advising governments at state and federal levels to empower local governments on the issuance of CFO for agricultural purposes.
Even Central Bank of Nigeria and international companies will recognize a CFO issued by a local government, and they will give you loan because it shows evidence that you are authorized to till that land.
The 44th annual general meeting of ABELSIMA, which saw the emergence of new ESCO, was declared open by the outgone president, Mr. Akinola Lawson.
In combating the COVID-19 pandemic in Nigeria, governance in this trying time has been challenged more than ever as a result of the adverse effects presented by the pandemic. We commend the efforts of the government at all levels to stem the tide of the spread of this killer virus. However, we urge the Nigerian government to evolve more veritable tactics that will facilitate the flattening of the curve of this dreadful disease spread. Now that the community phase of the spread is peaking at a near alarming rate.
In their separate remarks, the national president of NASIMA, Hajiya Saratu Iyaliu, and Patron and Chairman of the Sima Board of Trustees, Yalode Alaban Lawson, and other dignitaries commend the efforts of the past